Neen here from the Hyperactive Bookworm, here to do another author interview with the amazing Rita Potter. Hi, Rita. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. So, in the Facebook Sapphic Fiction Book Club, we have done Whitewater Awakening for, are we in February or March?
March.
All right, cool. In March, and I absolutely love this book. It was my first book of yours. It will not be my last. It was such a brilliant read. How would you sum up Whitewater Awakening in 3 words?
Intense. Grief and fun. Grief and fun go together, don't they?
Yeah, I know. I was sitting there going, that's absolutely it. Because when I wrote this question, I was like, there are so many layers in this book. How can you get the 3? And you've nailed them, because this book, guys, is balanced so perfectly with fun and humor and grief, and it works so well. All right, so random question. What's the weirdest thing you have blown up in the microwave?
Peeps. I love to blow up peeps in the microwave.
Peeps? What are peeps?
Yeah, you know those gross little peep things, those little, do you guys have them in Australia?
I don't
They're
know.
like these little marshmallowy birds that not real birds, candy birds. No, I'm not blowing up birds. I'm a vegetarian. I don't blow up birds. Let's get that straight. No, they're these little dinky marshmallow Easter candy things.
Right, okay.
And everybody either loves them or hates them, and they're really gross. And if you put them in the microwave, they will expand and they will get really big, and they look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man coming to get you.
Oh my
Try
God.
it. Your kid will love it.
Oh
You
my
will be a hero.
Hilarious. You would like flinch at that question. You're just like, oh yeah, I'm all for that. I know what that is.
Yeah. No, it's an easy question. I know this one.
What's a talent or skill you are in awe of in other authors?
Probably to write really pretty sentences and get their grammar and their punctuation and all that stuff right. I like panic when I write Facebook messages or something, because I need an editor for my everything. And it's like, oh my God, they're gonna think I don't know how to write because I can't get the right tense. I can't get the right.
Oh, I
understand?
absolutely feel that, because I suspect most authors feel that way. That's why our editors are so important. That's why we love them so much.
Exactly. And then I ended up having Jay as a mentor when I was in the GCLS Writing Academy. It's like Jay writes everything perfectly, and I'm writing her emails. It takes me half an hour to write her an email because I'm like, she's gonna be judging my punctuation. I just know it.
Knowing Jay, she absolutely would not have.
She wasn't. No, she
so lovely and sweet. But yeah, that
was intimidating. I did give her a short story because I wanted her to take a look at it. She couldn't resist. She had to edit it, which I was thankful for. But it's
yeah,
I took the liberty to edit this a little bit.
Oh, that's absolutely adorable, and that's so cool. When were you in the GCLS Academy?
In 2020, I started in 2020.
Oh wow! So
yeah.
Did before or after pandemic?
It was right after. It was in September after the pandemic started.
Oh wow! So wow.
So I was in the academy for almost a year, and I got Jay as my mentor. So that was and wow. I'm not usually a fangirl, but my wife is a fangirl, and she'll just get all excited, and she was laughing hysterically at me because I don't act like a fangirl, and I'm like, oh my God.
Well, it's Jay. Come on.
Well, exactly. How could you not?
That's really cool. That is so exciting. The friendships. So I am actually going to talk about Whitewater Awakening because I absolutely adored this book. The friendships are just perfect. They are perfect and real and fantastic. Were any of them modeled after friendships within your own life?
Probably as pieces of everything, but not like the whole thing. I mean, I think we come with pieces of everything. I mean, there's pieces of different people in all my characters, but I don't take, I think if I tried to take one that was real, it would start feeling funny. I don't like to have, I like to make shit up, and then I have to try to be true to stuff. And it's like, oh no, I'm going to get that wrong. I don't want to pull anything from people. So,
Well, it's the whole life is weirder than fiction. You know, if
yeah,
you put a real friendship in there, people would be like, that's not real. And
exactly.
yeah, totally get that. But yeah, I love books that highlight friendships. Whether they're romance, whether they're thriller, whether they're action. I just love that female bonding and how characters can be seen as kind to each other. I mean, I grew up with, a lot of books that were all, female against female. And it's just so nice seeing more books coming out that show such positive and healthy friendships, which I love.
All my books have that. I couldn't imagine my characters not having that for the most part. They, and I'm also a very slow burn writer too. I don't know if I can ever do a instant attraction. It's like you got to have that emotional connection before I can get that, and that bantering and that chemistry has to be there first. Not sexual chemistry comes later. I like the emotional chemistry first. So
you are so speaking to my reader heart. Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you as big an adrenaline junkie as many of your characters are in Whitewater Awakening?
No and yes. I mean, my wife will tell you that I'm very sensible when I drive a vehicle or car, but put me on an SUV or a little ATV, or put me in the water or something, or a jet ski or something, and I'm like a crazy woman. So I've never been whitewater rafting actually.
Oh wow.
And I really, 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 really want to go, but I don't swim very well. My wife is much more practical. And she swims very well. And she said, no, 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 I don't want to go. And I could go by myself, but it's just not the same.
Yeah.
But Whitewater Awakening happens to be her favorite book. And after she got done reading it, she's like, maybe we could give it a try. So I try to claim that's the reason I wrote it, just so I can get to go whitewater rafting someday, because she might actually go with me now. So
absolutely blown away by that. Honestly, you have written it so incredibly in depth, and it feels so real. Like I stupidly assumed that you had been whitewater rafting because it's just so well written. That's mind-blowing, Rita. Mind-blowing.
I actually have two screens here. And when I'm writing on one screen, I had actually people doing the Zambezi River on one screen as I'm writing. And I'm just kind of absorbing it and feeling it as I'm writing these things, and watching wipeouts and all that as I'm doing it. So
that is fantastic. What a brilliant idea. Of course, because yeah, you would have people filming all that stuff, and just like they do in the book. So, oh my God, that's
in the Minus Rapids, when they were doing the kayaking, I actually watched footage of people with the little GoPro on their head, and when they went underwater, and all you hear is glug 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 glug. So,
wow, that's cool.
It was intense.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Well, the book was bloody intense. Like my heart rate was going off, and I'm like, oh my God, the anxiety! Holy crap! And realizing that I am so not an adrenaline junkie. Just reading that is enough for me, thanks. But it was just absolutely incredible. Just yeah. So I have to ask, because I really want to know, will we get a story of any of the minor characters? I'm looking at you, Mick.
Yeah, I put some things together in this because my debut novel, a lot of people, I mean, it was my first one. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't wanted more. So they actually have a very bit part in Whitewater Awakening. And the groups from my debut novel, Broken Not Shattered, and the people from Whitewater Awakening may eventually do a novel together.
Yay! Oh, that's fantastic.
So that's on my plate of something I'd like to do, especially, you know, with so many characters, and my wife's favorite is Mick. So
Mick is just, oh my God, Mick is brilliant. I love that character so much. Your wife has great taste.
Mick was fun to write. Mick got to be whatever, because Mick wasn't trying to prove anything. Mick was just there as a support and to do this a Quinn a little bit, and
yeah, kick her butt a little bit.
Yeah, be a butt. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she was just fantastic, and she's brilliant, and her humor is great. The humor throughout this book is fantastic. The late night chats were just brilliant. The sort of, I mean, I know they'd met, but the sort of on their own meet cute where she falls into the pool and stuff, I just laughed out loud. Like, there's so many moments where you were able to, like Quinn, kind of forget momentarily about her grief and what she's been, you know, blocking out while, you know, carrying it too heavily, sort of thing. And it was just so fantastic. I love when an author is able to have that humor but have so much depth to characters and life and all that stuff as well. So you recently posted about how your writing has helped your world grow, which I love that post. That was absolutely fantastic. What's been the most surprising adventure for you so far?
You know, I think it's gonna be, this is gonna be a weird answer probably, but it's almost the internal adventure.
That's awesome.
Discovering things about myself I didn't know. You know, I live in the middle of a cornfield, literally. A very small town, born and raised in a small town, never left my small town, been in the same job for 33 years. And I travel, but when you travel, you don't always, you talk to people, but you don't get to know people.
Yeah.
But, you know, now I know people around the world. I know people on each coast. I know people, I mean, I go and visit my friends in different parts, and I've learned more about myself because, you know, where I live, I'm very, very liberal. I'm very, very out there in the middle of, you know, the cornfield.
Yeah.
I've discovered that in the bigger world, I'm a little more conservative than I realized. I'm not like conservative, crazy conservative, but I'm a little bit more, it's like, wow, okay, I'm a little bit more affected by my environment than I thought I was.
All about the context, isn't it? And discovering what's away from what you know.
Exactly. And like I said, it's you know, I was just talking to my friends this weekend when I was in New York. It's like, here I thought I was like the hippie liberal, wow, and it's like, you guys are like way out there for me.
Oh, I love that.
I will not be getting any Trump bumper stickers or anything, so we don't have to worry about that.
Okay, well, that's all right then. That's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. I love that answer so much. I think that's just absolutely incredible. Like,
yeah, it's made my world bigger. It's made my world bigger. It's made me see things in a different way. My book that's coming out in July, and actually my beta readers helped me discover that, because it's got political religious theme to it. But of course, we know I like to have a sense of humor too. It's got the Freaky Friday body switch things where a conservative Christian woman and a progressive lesbian start switching bodies.
oh my God, that is fantastic. Do you have a title for it?
It's called Love or Hate.
Oh my gosh. And is it up for pre-order yet, or
It's already up for pre-order on Amazon. And it's a wild ride. You've got my sense of humor in there, but you got some tough subjects too. I mean, you got people talking about some tough issues that are part of our community right now. And we'll see how people like it, but I went way outer limits with it and had some fun with it, and they had to, I mean, talk about me having to see things from a different way. They have to see the world through each other's eyes.
Yeah.
And it's really about people seeing the world, and because we're so divisive right now, we're fighting so much. It's like, if we could only live in each other's bodies for a little bit and figure out what was going on. And that's kind of what I did in this book. So
yeah. That sounds amazing. And the most powerful books, and the ones that people, what I find for my own self and for other readers that I talk to, that where they're able to, I don't know, sort of get the message a bit more, is the ones that are balanced with humor or with love in there, or with something else that makes it easier to kind of digest the information as well. And it's brilliant. Like the religious thing, the religious stuff that you have in Whitewater Awakening, if you didn't have the humor and the balance of everything else, I couldn't imagine I'd be so calm in the book, even though I was like, a few times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a social worker by trade. So I have all that emotion. I have all that. I mean, people that are social workers, you kind of got that dark sense of humor. You almost have to accept things. So it's like, you have to have a sense of humor about everything, and you have to have optimism about everything. And I still believe, I mean, my tagline is hopeful, eclectic, and authentic. And I am a very hopeful person and very optimistic. And it's like, you can overcome anything with the right people in your life. And that's really what Whitewater was about, is, Quinn had the right people in her life. She had Mick that was always going to be there solid. She even had Natalie, even though there were some problems there. And then with Aspen coming into her life, she was going to make it, she was going to figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she had to be ready and she had to make that journey, but it's so much easier to make that journey when you have the support.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even though she tried to get away from the support and she tried to run away and she didn't want, she tried to hide away, Mick was just passing through. They 1,200 miles, just happened to be passing through the neighborhood. And,
Yeah. And I have to say, your writing's phenomenal, because damn it, by the end, I didn't hate Peyton. And that was just unfair.
Yeah, I was reading your commentary, and it's so funny because I love it, because I'm too hopeful to have characters not redeem themselves, even the bad ones. I don't think I've ever had a bad character, and I have bad characters in every single one of my books, except for one character, an abusive husband. But other than that, every single character has redeemed themselves, and it pisses people off because it's like, we hated that character, but
yeah, I didn't want to like
understandable. Yeah.
I did not hatred, but you forgive her in the end. What she did was shitty. Lots of what she did was shitty, but I don't know, you kind of forgive her by the end. And I'm like, damn it, woman.
And I do believe most people are good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something in the core of me. Even people that don't seem good, I think most people are good, and given the chance to do something good and to redeem themselves, they will. And so most of my characters will do that.
I love that. That's awesome. All right, so you have Love or Hate, is that what it's called?
Love or Hate, yes.
Love or Hate, and that's coming out in
July.
Oh, fantastic. That's sort of, you've wrapped up in that now. Are you working on anything else, or do you?
I'm way ahead. I just released Out of the Ashes, which was set during the eruption of Mount St. Helens. That one happens to be my favorite. Whitewater is my wife's favorite. Out of the Ashes happens to be mine. And then Love or Hate comes out in July. I've got a holiday romance. Well, it's kind of a romance. I was going to try to do a Hallmarky type thing,
Yeah.
and then it ended up being set in a homeless shelter. So I kind of Hallmark, homeless shelter, they kind of go together. So that one should come out in November. And I just finished writing one that's with my beta readers, which is about storm chasers.
Oh, fantastic. You are a writing machine.
I try to write 3 a year. I'm just started writing about 25,000 words into one with a mafia mistress who has to go into witness protection.
Wow.
With someone who does not want to be with her in this witness protection program.
Oh, no.
And is not happy.
Excellent. Love it. So, all right. So you have, wow. How do you keep track of them all?
I got late start writing, so I have to keep going, and I write weird stuff. I write stuff that's a little different. I mean, just like you do. You don't write the traditional, I couldn't write a contemporary romance if I tried. I thought,
every time I've tried, seriously, it just within 2 chapters, I'm like, and there's the supernatural. Cool.
Well, I mean, you're talk about, it's so funny because both of us are like happy people and hyper people, and you like torture people and burn their arms, and you're even darker than my shit. but both. but yeah, I don't like that.
Somewhere so you can be happy.
Well, exactly. You got to stir some things up, but I couldn't write a contemporary if I wanted to. I like a lot of action. I like a lot of, social worky type issues going on with people. I like depth. I like layers. I like, so I'm always just going to be writing something a little different. And I've accepted that I won't be everybody's cup of tea, but the people that like my stuff will really like it, I think. So.
Absolutely.
You're going to be on a journey with me. God knows where I'm going to take you, but you're going to be on some kind of journey. So,
look, anyone who's jumped onto the Facebook group and all of my weekly updates for the chapter sections of Whitewater Awakening will see just how the depth of this book, because my commentary is huge. I'm like, I keep trying to cut it down. I'm like, oh, but that was so, but there's just so much in it, and it's just amazing. I absolutely just blown away by this book, because it isn't, just a romance, and it isn't just an action, and it isn't just a book about grief, and it isn't just all these things. It's all of them interweaved together, and it's as complicated and fucked up as real life, basically.
Exactly. I love complicated. It's a big puzzle to put together. I love putting together puzzles. I love doing those kind of things. It's like, yeah, I couldn't write simple if I wanted to. Well, I mean, like I said, I started the holiday romance, and the next thing I know, we're in a homeless shelter. There's transgendered kids running around there. I mean, it's just, everything just starts happening, and my characters just take me on this ride. So.
Oh, I love that. And the action in Whitewater Awakening, like I said earlier, I'm just blown away that you have not actually gone whitewater rafting, because it was like, you could feel it. You could freaking, the shivers and the plunging into the water, and just the thrill and the rush and the adrenaline of it all was just chef's kiss. It was fantastic.
Thank you. I haven't got many chef kisses, so I'm like excited.
All right. So where can people find you and your books?
Amazon. I also publish with Sapphire, so you can buy them at the Sapphire website. I have my own website. It's ritapotter.com. Very easy to find. You sign up for my newsletter, and I give you a couple free short stories. So, just, and I usually try to send out 2 newsletters a month. I'll tell you about what I'm working on. I'll tell you, I'm very open. I'll tell you about what's going on in my personal life. I'll tell you about my cat. I'll tell you about whatever's on my mind. I'll let people in on. So it's a little bit, that I think it comes with being a social worker. I mean, there's nothing. I'm not a very private person. I mean, a lot of authors are very private, and I don't write under a pseudonym. I said, my God, if I'm going to write a goddamn book, my name is going to be on that damn cover. So,
Oh, I love it. Absolutely. And the transparency is fantastic. I love it. So that's fantastic. I'll make sure I've got all those links down in the comments, y'all. And so everyone can go and, I want to say stalk, but I know that's kind of scary, but I don't mean it that way. Can go follow and keep up to date.
yes.
All of your life and writing adventures. And so, yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today. It has been fantastic, and this book is brilliant. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Now, if you would like to keep the track of my videos so you don't miss any, make sure you hit subscribe. All likes, all subscriptions, they all help to keep this passion project alive. You can also, if you would like to support me, buy me a coffee. The link's down below. Thanks, y'all.